So moving into bridge 2. So we are gonna have right now we're gonna do a 1 and a 2. So, but today for the first time, we're actually gonna do a high and a low, like a heavy spring and a low spring. So we have the heavy spring at 2 and the light spring at 1. So a 2 and a 1. If some chairs, you guys actually don't have a heavy and a light, so you'd maybe then look at a 1 and a 1 for that if you have that chair. So pedal, heels are gonna come up into the pedal. We're gonna be at 90 degrees at the knees, neutral pelvis, arms down, nose tipped up towards the ceiling. Yep, collarbones are nice and open. And we're going to go straight up into the high bridge. So you're gonna press up. So we can do 2 things. Let's drop back down. We can articulate up, so we can actually roll the hips towards the ribs, come all the way up, pressing up, and then actually soften the sternum. Now, kind of vertebra by vertebra, roll your spine down, scooping your transverse there, roll right through your kind of tuck spine into a neutral spine. So that was a roll. We can actually just do it at hinge as well. So for some people's backs, you actually just have to take that neutral. So drop back down. You're in neutral. You're just like, you're firmly, I want to say frozen in neutral. And then you just pick up the glutes and pick the neutral right up. Depending on what's happening with the back and the pelvis, Jen can probably speak to that in a couple minutes. So we're gonna get those triceps engaged. So again, grab onto your mat in front of you, slurp it up a little bit, press back into those triceps like crazy, feel those collarbones open nice and wide, sit bones are nice and wide, hips are wide as well. So let's widen the hip bones, get that transverse kicking up a little bit. We're gonna go heels for the first one. So the heels are gonna get higher up on the hamstring. If we go into a wrap toe, right? If we do this extra wrap, we're gonna get lower on the hamstring. So it depends where you want to train your client and or yourself. So lifting up, take a big breath in. Let's curl up. So roll your hips towards your ribs. Yep, curl, think of that hip wheel. It's gonna roll all the way up, 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 up. Press your knees away from you, shoot your knees away from you. Imagine your knees are even with your ankles. Take a breath in, exhale, pull your heels towards your bum without lowering your body. So an idea is you're gonna pull your heels towards your bum. She's gonna get fatigued really fast here, so I gotta talk fast. Pull your hips up towards the sky. Yep, so as your heels come down, push your hips, your 2 ASAS up, but make sure you're soft through the sternum, but charged up through the tricep, like lit through the tricep. So rise the glutes, use the glutes to extend the hips, there it is. Keep them there. Now just pull your heels towards your sit bones. Let it lift, and then pull your heels towards your sit bones. Watch your feet are in alignment. Take a quick beat for a sec. Give her 1 second. So, yeah, do you want to speak to that? That's
the benefits?
Yeah.
Yeah. So same as bridge 1, but now we're working more on power, strength, and endurance. Mm-hmm. So it's just the level up. Again, power, strength, and endurance in that posterior chain, glutes, hamstrings, all the things that we want. Closed kinetic chain still, so it keeps everything safe. What you're looking for. So you don't want to see the pelvis dropping or dipping while the legs are moving. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
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 People sometimes say they have knee pain in this. Again, it's the same as the wrists. If you have pain in the lower limb, chances are the central universe is not in control. So you want to make sure that this is all active and neutral and stacked. The other thing is with the articulate, do you want to articulate up or do you want them to hinge up? Mm-hmm. So if someone has a back injury or they don't like flexion, you're not going to ask them to articulate because that's just going to aggravate everything. Sometimes SI joint issues don't also like articulating. So then you would just get them to hinge.
So let's go wrap toes for a sec. So if you go wrap toes, so Jen, when you switch the foot position, it massively, the power changes. So pressing back, press back up. Yeah, and now people are gonna feel way more here. So drape the toes over even more. Take a breath in, keep your hips high. This gets harder. You almost have to lower your weight. Pull your heels in, woohoo! Woo! Get the backs of the shoulders open. Make sure you're not pressing so high up that you're on the cervical 7. So you want to make sure that you're not over pressing up. So go super high, even more, even more, even more. Some people go a little too high. So it'd be nice and even, like that angle, right? But then pull, and then think about shooting the knees, pulling the heels towards the sits bones. What do you think about switching the hamstring? Like, I find most people probably want, what would you?
Between hamstring or glute?
Yeah, like you're gonna get, the heels are gonna get way more up on the higher hamstring. What would you like kind of recommend?
Oh, well, I guess it would depend on what you want to do,
Yeah.
right? Like if you're trying to get more glute upper hamstring power, you're going to do that. But if they are rehabbing a lower hamstring injury, then you may do the other one.
The raptos, yeah, cool. Okay, awesome. That is high bridge. That's really good. You know, the other thing you guys can do is if you want to split the pedal and you go for a little walk up there, then you want to switch your springs to too low, like so 2 ones right away. Alana, we can go for a tiny little hamstring walk. Do the clients love it? I don't know. But what about cramping? Cramping also happens. It does. Like you will notice cramping. Long time I taught, you know, I'd do this exercise in a class and one person's like, whoa, Charlie horse out. So yeah, you go for a tiny little walk. So the idea is that you're not gonna move the femur. You're just gonna pull the heel towards the sit bone. Try to keep the hips rising up. So again, hips up, hips up, hips up, soften the sternum. So you got, you know, super big glute pressing, hips right through the sky. Triceps are on, and then you're going for this tiny little walk, which is feisty.
Guys, just one more thing coming back. You really don't want their weight on the base of their neck. Laura just said that, but let's just make sure everybody's clear on that. So if they're too high up, whoa, that's all her weight's on C7. We don't want that, especially if they have osteoporosis or anything going on with their neck, but nobody. We don't want anybody doing that. Okay, let's do a little fascia for bridge 2. This also might help the cramping a little bit if you do this before. So, great position. You can put the hamstrings on a little bit of a stretch. Not everybody's going to be able to do that, what Alana is doing. It might be like here. That's okay. Okay, so we're going to do perpendicular. Then we're going to do parallel. You can do a little bit of glutes too. Might as well do the calf over here. I would go on the other side if I was doing this for real, but how's that? Gritty, gritty, gritty. Good. Okay. Okay. Then, and you could even do their feet a little bit too. So that their ankles stay. There. That's how you could do the fascia for bridge 2.